Hello again, everyone. Guess what? We're back again with another episode. That's like 2 in a week, which might be a record. I don't know. Actually, no, I think I did that back in December before I disappeared from the world. But anyway, we're back today with the Mercenary Podcast. I'm your host, Nurse Rick, and today is one of the days of Nurses Week. I'm pretty sure it's Nurses Week. As a nurse, you'd think I would know that. No, it is Nurses Week because they let us wear funky clothes at work this week. I did see a TikTok, though, in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, for anyone that doesn't know what the abbreviation is. They gave nurses at their hospital, and I don't know if this is 100% confirmed or not. I saw it on TikTok, like I said. So, take it with a grain of salt. They gave their nurses brand new Toyotas. Brand new cars. One nurse at another hospital in an undisclosed location, she got a phishing email that said, click here for your $25 Starbucks nursing gift card. Or your $25 gift card to Starbucks for Nurses Week. And when she clicked it, found out it was an IT phishing email. Holy crap. I would leave that hospital pretty quickly if that were me. But I don't work at a hospital like that. I work at a good hospital, at least in my opinion. And we do our best to take care of staff and everything. And we apparently have let people wear wacky clothing all week. I just wear my scrubs. They're comfortable. I like them. I'm good there. I don't need a throwback 70s day. Though I did not work on the sports day, I would have most certainly wore my Drew Brees jersey in. That'd be a bad idea though, because I work around a lot of bodily fluids and that's a really nice jersey. But anyway, today for Nurses Week, we are going to be talking about a topic that has been more frequently headlined in the news in regards to my profession than I would prefer. So let's jump into today's topic. But first, are you tired of spam calls and weird emails that you didn't subscribe to? Well, I'm tired of those things, or at least I was, until I found Delete Me. Now, Delete Me is a company that hunts down, not in a John Wick way, but they hunt down your information in these private data brokers, and they will submit opt-out forms on your request to remove your data from their services, and then they will continue to scour the web to find your name, your phone number, your addresses, former addresses, all of these things, and they will request to be taken down for you. I like Delete Me. I love it, actually. It's fantastic because it's definitely helped clear up stuff that spam calls and those spammy emails that come into my inbox that Google doesn't always catch. But if you're interested in the service, anyway, go to joindeleteme.com/mercenary. I got that wrong in my last video. I said the mercenary, and I forgot the join part at the beginning. So, guess that's what I get for being new to ads. But anyway, go check out joindeleteme.com/the-mercenary. Go check out joindeleteme.com/mercenary so they know I sent you and start protecting your information today. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into today's topic here in the great state of Indiana. Well, it's actually Kentucky, but the man's from Indiana. All right, here we go. Southern Indiana man charged with attacking staff, knocking down computers at U of L Jewish Hospital. And this was yesterday, May the 9th. It was updated. I believe this happened on the 8th, though, which happens to be Florence Nightingale's birthday. If you're remember my Florence Nightingale episode, The Mother of Modern Nursing. Bless that woman. But, yeah, on her birthday, Southern Indiana man, not Florida man for once. We all remember that story. At least I hope we do. Southern Indiana man scratched a nurse. Here, let's get to the actual text that you guys can read along with me. A Southern Indiana man was arrested for allegedly attacking a staff member at U of L Jewish Hospital during an outburst early Friday morning. Because there's nothing I love in the hospital bedside more than a patient outburst. According to court documents, police responded to U of L Jewish Hospital on a report of a combative patient fighting with security around 2 a.m. So this was on night shift. I remember night shift. There's not a lot of people in the hospital. Not a tremendous amount of security, at least. But my hospital has its own police force, and they're armed. And they respond quickly to buttons. And the little panic buttons on the wall, like, you know, the little bank teller, like, button under the thing. Well, we have those on the wall, and different ones mean different things. And we also have them at the nurse's station, too. And they respond, even when someone presses them accidentally because they don't know what the button does. And yes, that has happened. And yes, our police officers at my hospital don't appreciate when that happens, which I think is reasonable. Anyway, according to court documents, police responded at around 2 a.m. Court documents state a staff member went to check on 50-year-old Vincent Armstrong, I don't like giving out names and everything, of Jeffersonville, because he was standing up at the end of his bed, already a no-no, should have had the bed alarm on, probably was going off when the nurse responded because she was doing her rounds, and nurse hears a bed alarm going off and goes, well, I don't want my patient to fall because then someone's going to blame me for that. So she goes to try to calm the situation down. So he's standing at the end of his bed. He allegedly then pushed her and scratched her arm. Ow. I can count on 2 hands probably the amount of times I've been scratched by a patient. And there are some dirty fingernails. I immediately went and rubbed it off with alcohol swabs. Was there something probably a little less painful I could have done to get rid of that? Probably. Does alcohol kill almost everything? Absolutely. I'm not going to rub bleach in it, that's for sure. Armstrong then went to the nurse's table and knocked down all the computer monitors, the court document claims. So, guy has an outburst. Guy gets out of bed in the hospital where he is being, I'm assuming, monitored. Maybe it was a med-surg unit. I'll be right back. Kitties! Stop your nonsense! What is this? And throw that back in the closet. All my hopes and dreams. Anyway, pardon that interruption. So, man, out of bed, 2 a.m, hospital, monitored, alarm, med-surg maybe, I don't know. Nurse goes to check on him, he goes, shh, and scratches her. And then proceeds, after pushing her, to walk out to the nurse's station and destroy everything? I mean, that doesn't make a lot of sense in my head why someone would do that, but also it doesn't make a lot of sense why a lot of people do a lot of things in this world. So, he was handcuffed in a wheelchair until the officers arrived. Police said every computer was knocked down from the altercation. Armstrong has been initially charged with assaulting EMS, fire or rescue squad, and criminal mischief. Probably could have been more charges. I think they went a little light. He's scheduled to appear in court for the first time June 6th. A mugshot of him was not immediately made available. Well, that's a crappy situation to find yourself in. I'm a fan of having more big, strong male nurses on the unit that A, are really good at their job, and B, just look like dudes you probably don't want to act out around. Yeah, I enjoy having those guys around. Those are good. Those are good nurses. We need more of those nurses. Alright, so my initial thoughts on this story is, A, why is there not more security in the hospital? And I'm not saying this as a, well, this shouldn't have happened in the first place, because guess what? It had already happened another time, less than a month ago, and it wasn't even night shift. So, without further ado, if I can get to the My screen recording thing's in the way. Haha! No, that's not the one I wanted. Here, let's do this. We're going to minimize. We're going to go here. And then we're going to maximize. Where there's a will, there's a way. Alright, so this is already shared on the World Wide Web, so I'm assuming there's no copyright on it. If there is, I apologize. Could you really sue a face like this? Please, don't. Okay, let's watch this quick video. I don't like that that is such low volume. Hold on. And in editing, I'm probably going to do the screen volume and take off the mic volume. Maybe. Actually, no, we're going to do this. We're going to jack the volume up so the mic can pick it up just fine.
Healthcare workers are concerned about an escalation of violence by patients in the workplace. Vincent Armstrong is charged with assaulting an employee at Jewish Hospital overnight. The police citation indicates that he pushed and scratched a woman, then went to the nurse's table and knocked down all of the computer monitors. He had to be handcuffed to a wheelchair by officers. Last month,
Could you imagine your patient in the hospital has an outburst, and then some dude that's not actually a police officer just handcuffs you to a wheelchair, and then you're just stuck? You were mad. Now you're stuck in mad. That wouldn't be a good time for that dude. Mr. Armstrong was having a very, very bad night, okay?
Another nurse at Jewish was choked by a patient. While U of L Health can't say exactly how many of these attacks have happened, the acts of violence are...
Probably a lot. They can't say, they can say, they probably haven't counted, but just not all of them have made media stories. So probably a lot. These are the only two that made it into the public view, probably because someone opened their mouth to the press about it immediately and was like, yeah, I'm going to go talk about this. And someone in media management, HR, was like, no, we're not. And you're like, yeah, you're right. I'm not. And then went and did it anyway.
Are concerning.
The healthcare environment is really no different than what we're seeing around the country, with an increase in aggression, an increased workplace violence really since the pandemic, and has not really settled back down to what we would consider pre-pandemic levels. So we are not exempt from that as far as the overall nature of what's going on.
U of L Health is increasing security as it works on security plans.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. That was very informative. People are violent. No, don't play that. Don't play that. Don't you do it.
Healthcare workers are concerned about an
There we go. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Smith, for that riveting explanation of violence in healthcare workers since the pandemic and during the pandemic. That was riveting. Thank you for promising to do more. But anyway, here's the other story that was from literally April. Like, it's not even been a full 30 days since this would happen, and this one was on day shift. Alright, hold on. Knock that off. We need full volume. We're blasting this.
First tonight, a woman has been arrested after she allegedly assaulted a nurse at U of L Health. Thanks for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. Court documents say LMPD was called to the hospital just before 3 yesterday afternoon after U of L security responded to a panic alarm on the 3rd floor. Court documents say 35-year-old patient Makisha Johnson was caught on surveillance footage. Coming behind the nurse. First tonight, a woman was called to the hospital just before 3 yesterday afternoon after U of L security responded to a panic alarm on the 3rd floor.
Yep. Panic button. Panic button. See? Panic button. Panic buttons are awesome. Responded to after staff hit panic button. Awesome.
Keisha Johnson was caught on surveillance footage coming behind the nurse and choking her as the nurse was conducting rounds. Police say Johnson then threw the nurse to the ground and repeatedly hit her. Police say 2 mental health techs attempted to help the nurse and stop the assault until security arrived. Johnson was later discharged and arrested. According to court documents, Johnson admitted to the assault and said she was angry the staff was taking too long to discharge her from the hospital, so she assaulted the first person available. Johnson is expected in court tomorrow. In a statement, U of L Health said in part, quote, U of L Health does not tolerate any violence or abuse against its staff, patients, or visitors. Our employee was treated and released. First tonight...
No, don't do that again. All right, so 30 days ago, not even 30 days ago, less than 30 days ago, little less than, nurse was assaulted, choked from behind, and then hit multiple times. This hospital system said, we take this very seriously, we're going to do more to protect our staff. And then, like, less than 30 days later, a dude gets up at 2 in the morning, goes and trashes the nurse's station after scratching and pushing a nurse. What are some possible solutions to this? They have security. Security has their own office. They have several officers. Why not have an officer dedicated to each floor? Specifically this, I'm not talking for all hospitals, because each hospital is different. The size of the campus, like there's hospitals in Texas that are like 9 million stories tall on like a 4 or 5 acre health campus. Thank you, private equity groups. Same in Phoenix. There's very, very large hospitals, like unless you want to have 300 security guards to cover each individual unit. But U of L, I don't believe, is that big. It's not a massive, massive sprawling campus for the actual medical units. So having guards down in the main area, like a few of them just checking the entrances and everything, especially the ED, tons of weapons, drugs come in through the emergency department every day. But having dedicated officers for each floor, so maybe each one will have a small little like side office on each floor, and they can just kind of round if there's like the triangle, type units, or if it's like a big pod type unit. You can have just one dude that every 30 minutes just kind of gets up, walks around, notes safety concerns from different patients, anyone that's violent or aggressive, and then can peek in. I don't know which way to peek on this camera, the way it's set up. Just kind of peek in the room, the door. Peek in and say, hey, you're going to keep it under control, right? Right? Yeah? Okay. I'll be back in 30. You behave yourself now. Okay? Yeah. All right. Behave. Yep. Yep. Okay. Just something like that. Or, here's another thing Louisville can do. They can have Jack Harlow release a press statement. Hear me out. He's got a lot of pull in Louisville. He's from there. I don't know if you know that, but Jack Harlow's from there. Please don't tag him in this. I'm just joking. Jack Harlow's not going to make a press statement on violence against nurses. If he does, that'd be pretty cool. I would appreciate it. Jack, if somehow in the ether you see this, just a quick Twitter, Instagram, Meta, anything. But I think that's probably going to do it for today's episode. So there is definitely an increase in violence as per Dr. Smith in his riveting theoretical analysis on nurses getting beat up. And, before I go, I also, does anyone remember this? Yeah, that shouldn't happen either. Anytime a article starts with Florida man, it's going to be in for a wild ride. I hope that nurse is doing better. I truly do. There's a very tragic thing to have happen, is to have a full-grown 230-pound psychotic man jump on top of you and start beating your face until you're unconscious. But we also remember the administration from this hospital's response to that, because that audio tape was released to the public from the dispatch. So anytime a facility that goes through this regularly says they're gonna do something because they take it very seriously, I do, unfortunately nowadays, take it with a large grain of salt, probably a 1,000 milligram salt tablet to be exact, and I just straight chew it because I'd rather have that taste in my mouth than the sour taste of wanting to vomit from what these people in these administrations say. But anyway, happy Nurses Week. I hope everyone is and did thoroughly enjoy themselves this week. And I hope that not everyone got fished with a $25 Starbucks gift card email from IT. Because that would really suck. But everyone have a good day. Everybody have a good day. Good day, mate. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.